Welcome back to the Pick Six Podcast Show. Down the home stretch, fellas, going to talk a little NFC North. Brady, I'll start with you. The record remains intact. The Packers have not drafted a wide receiver in the first round going back to 2002. They're crushing it in the second round. Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Davante Adams, who's no longer with the team. If you're Aaron Rodgers, how do you feel about this? Because there was some reporting that he actually knew Davante Adams was going to have to move on or was willing to move on when he returned, Aaron Rodgers did, and now that has happened. Aaron Rodgers said he was surprised a few weeks ago. I don't think he was. Is Aaron Rodgers feeling good in that division that isn't very strong, or does he have some reservations about where things stand offensively?
Look, I think it's hard anytime you lose your number one wide receiver. That's kind of your security blanket, if you will. When they need a play, that's who he goes to. And they knew each other like the back of each other's hand. That chemistry is hard to develop in one offseason. So even though Christian Watson looks to be that next wide receiver who was drafted in the second round and is going to follow in the footsteps of Davante Adams or Greg Jennings or Jordy Nelson or whoever else you want to throw in that conversation, there's still a lot of time between now and then, a lot of work to be done in order to get to that point. So the truth of the matter is, I'm sure he was concerned by it, maybe not surprised, and maybe had an idea of what may take place and had to be okay with it if he wanted to eventually come back and sign the contract that he did. But at the end of the day, he just wants to win a Super Bowl. I mean, that's what this is about. The Green Bay Packers give him the best chance not only winning the division, but winning a Super Bowl by coming back. And I think they had one of the better drafts, too, in drafting exactly to their needs and trying to give him one more shot at winning one.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is happy as things stand because, hey, they finally took a receiver, period. It might not have been in the first round, but it was with one of the top 34 picks. I'm sure he was thrilled jumping off his couch or doing one of those three-finger tequila sips he likes to do. He saw the Packers actually trade up. They had 2 second-round picks in the 50s, parlayed that and turned it into the 34th overall pick in Christian Watson. But as Brady said, even if Watson is good, it's not going to be easy to replicate the chemistry and success he had with Davante Adams. It's probably not going to happen. And so if Christian Watson can't do that, then your offense isn't as good as it was last year or the year before, or as good as it's been every year since Matt LaFleur's been hired and Aaron Rodgers has had Davante Adams to throw to. And so if your offense is taking a step back, you got to lean a little bit more on your defense. And so in that sense, it does make sense they use 2 of their first-round picks on defensive players. I do think that the Packers are good this season, but man, this feels like last year I thought they were a Super Bowl contender. This year, I'm not so sure they're one of the top 2 teams in the NFC.
All right, Breach, I'm coming right back to you because you are a fan of a team that's been a perennial loser until last year, credit to the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to talk about the Bears and the Lions. Which team, in your mind, post-free agency, post-draft, is going in the right direction or going closer to the right direction? Is it Detroit or is it Chicago?
Did you watch The Wizard of Oz before this segment, Wilson? You just mentioned the Bengals, the Bears, and the Lions. That's Lions and Tigers and Bears. That was impressive. Look, I would like to think that I think the Lions are better situated. The Lions are better situated for the future in my eyes. We all watched what the Bears did. Justin Fields doesn't really have any weapons there. They're not doing him any favors. I don't know how that offense is going to function with a second-year quarterback who just doesn't really have any weapons on that offense. And so and then you look at Detroit, it looks like that whole city, not just the team, they are all turning into Dan Campbell. His personality is everywhere. It's stamped onto that team. And I love what they did in the draft. I love that they traded up to get Jameson Williams and get another weapon for Jared Goff, who probably had a slightly underrated season last year. The Aiden Hutchinson pick, he fell into their lap. That defense was good last year. And this was a team that even though they lost 13 games, I think 5 or 6 of those games were by 1 score. They lost on a 66-yard field goal, so they can play with good teams. And so I stock higher with Lions over the Bears.
Oh, slam dunk. It's all about the Detroit Lions. I mean, heck, they got Hard Knocks coming on there, too. I mean, can you wait to see Dan Campbell on Hard Knocks? That's going to be fantastic. But look, I think they drafted to really what their needs were. I mean, you can talk about Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, they got in trouble for turning into Pickens so soon. That's how excited they were to draft this guy who's obviously a Michigan native, went to the University of Michigan. But he'll be a game changer for that defense, which Breach just touched on, was already pretty good last year. So they're definitely heading in the right direction there. To me, it was about trying to get some playmakers. And I don't know when Jameson Williams will be healthy and ready to go, but my goodness, they need it in the worst way. And I think when he is healthy, if you think about Swift out of the backfield, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and TJ Hawkinson, those are some weapons for Jared Goff. That can get it done. Their offensive line's scrappier and more physical and better than I think most people give them credit. So, dare I say, Detroit, yeah, they're better than the Bears, and maybe even depending on what happens this year with the Vikings, even though they have a better roster, could compete for that second spot in the NFC North when it's all said and done.
Yeah, no one's talking about Jared Goff anymore. It's all about the weapons around him. All right, let's do a little value pick to win the NFC North. Breach, I'll go to you first. Who do you like in the NFC North?
My value pick is the Vikings at plus 260. Look, they went 8-9 last season, but 8 of those 9 losses were by 1 score. If they would have just gone, 4-4 in those 8 of those 9 one-score games, then they are 12-5. So I think coaching is a big reason why you lose that many one-score games. New coaching staff. So I like their value at plus 260.
You know what? I'm taking the Packers at minus 170. You see the history, 3 straight. Yeah, well, it'll be 4 straight after this year. And the only reason these odds aren't even heavier in favor of the Packers winning at minus 250 or minus 300 is because Devontae Adams isn't there. I mean, that's really your only concern with this team going into the season is what's the passing game going to look like? But last time I checked, you mentioned a lot of other second-round receivers who had previously been there, Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams and Cobb, who left, now he's back, and Greg Jennings. They seem to still do just fine. So I think maybe it has a little bit to do with Aaron Rodgers and his ability to just dominate this division. We already know he owns real estate there at Soldier Field in Chicago. You can kind of make the case that he pretty much owns real estate everywhere else. So I think the odds only going to get more in the favor of Green Bay as this offseason rolls on.
Guys, we've been talking up Dan Campbell and the Lions. I'm all in on Dan Campbell. Plus 1,200, you can't beat that. Jared Goff is better than Aaron Rodgers. Whatever you need to tell yourself to make you convinced that the Lions are going to be good this year. They'll be better. We'll see how much better. But I like them at plus 1,200 for sure. All right, that's a wrap. We're done. It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got nothing to do. That's a little Friday joke for you. All right, we're done. If you like this, even if you didn't, subscribe to the Pick Six Podcast, wherever you get your podcast, and we'll catch you guys on the flippity flop.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.